Hey guys, and welcome to the final video with the FM21 Salford save, where today we are going to be simulating forward 5 years to find out what will happen to the Salford side after we have been relegated with them. Hey guys, and welcome to the final episode in the FM21 Salford City save, where today we are going to be simulating forward 5 years to find out what is going to happen with the Salford side. And unfortunately, it hasn't gone the way we wanted with us. Our peak position was 9th place in our second to last or third to last Premier League season, so not terrible. And it's time to work out if another more experienced manager can take them back up to the Premier League and maybe go even further. If you have enjoyed the Salford save, please make sure that you like this video. Can we get 10 likes to say goodbye to a wonderful save? Probably the most successful save I've ever done on my entire channel. Actually, definitely the most successful save we've ever done on my channel. With 4,000 views on the first episode, it is insane the support that we have had. Make sure that you do subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos with a new series, which I will be revealing right now is going to be with Real Madrid, and also a new series coming on this channel will be transfer guides. We're going to start that off with an Arsenal transfer guide and hopefully work through a bunch of sides. So if you're excited for that content, make sure that you do subscribe and like this video while you're down there. You may as well. But without any further ado, the only thing we can do really is take a look at what's going to happen at Salford. We're going to do this simulating forward 1 year, and we're going to review, then we're going to simulate another year, and then we're going to review, and then we're going to simulate another 3 years to have 5 years in total and see where Salford are. Since I have resigned, I've already started a wee bit of havoc, so I haven't given the new manager exactly an easy job. A lot of players in the backroom staff have decided to leave, and that is obviously because I was such a good manager. But either way, we're going to simulate forward, go on a holiday. I think I deserve a holiday after all of the, 9 years of straight work that I've had. I think I went on a couple of holidays. And we're going to come back to this date in a year's time. And how do I do this? Okay, I've worked out how to holiday. We're going to holiday to 2030, May the 21st, which is exactly a year from now. Actually, that's a year and a week, so we're going to be a wee bit adventurous. It's time to find out what's going to happen to the Salford team. Well, that took a while to simulate. We are now on the 14th of May, 2030, and it's time to find out how Salford have done in this first season. We're going to start by taking a look at the championship. I've completely butchered the spelling of that, so let's give that another crack. Got there eventually. They're not in the playoffs, so either they got promoted automatically, or they didn't get into any sort of competition to going back to the Premier League. Let's find out. They finished right on top of the championship, exactly where they wanted to have finished, only losing 5 games all season and getting 103 points. I'll be honest, I was looking more down the very bottom of the table than I was looking right up the top, but clearly we've built a solid side and they're coming back up to the Premier League. Their new manager is Thomas Christiansen, and he has previously been the manager of Leeds, Sheffield United, Granada. In real life, I believe he is, if I'm getting my timing right, he's either the Panama manager or the Union SG manager. So not exactly a huge amount of reputation in real life, but he's got very good stats in this game, so I'm not surprised he's done a good job to get themselves back up to where they need to be. And I think the most important thing that we want to be seeing is who they've gotten rid of and who they've brought in. And they've made a lot of signings this year. £90 million worth of signings, £180 million worth of sales. I'm more interested by the sales. Let's just double check that they haven't done anything since the end of last season. They managed to get rid of Patty for £1.9 million. That's definitely not something I did. Made a loss on him, which is not something I would have personally done, but I think we're going to have to take a look at these sales first. First one, they've gone rid of Scarlett. I mean, that's fine. We brought him in. I mean, again, I don't think I would have lost that much money on him, but I mean, well, it's not losing money when you bring him in for a free. Prince Ward left on a free, not ideal. Patrick Kennedy goes for £6.75 million. That's a pretty good deal, bringing him in on £1.5 million. I'm really invested in the finances of the club. Agnew goes for £30 million. Wow. Okay, that is well played. Well played, I will admit. And he's done pretty well in the Sky Bet Championship out at Sheffield United, and I think they also put him on loan. No, that's me who put him on loan at Leeds. Kim Campbell went on loan. One of the Brazilian wonder kids went on loan again. Edge Hill has left. And they've done it for a player exchange. I need to know who this player exchange was. Ando. Really? Surely it wasn't Ando. No, it was Garry McDonnell. McDonnell for Edgehill. And you had to pay him money as well. And you've already sold him. Oh my goodness. You've lost money on him. You got rid of Edgehill. And now, no, I can't handle that. I cannot handle that. Let's just move on. Stankovic has gone as well. A pretty solid player, to be fair. Gassama, the legend, £10.5 million he goes for. It's a very nice profit, considering we brought him in on a free. But it's disappointing to see that he didn't get to make his stamp on the championship once again. Joel Vasquez leaves for £20 million. That is a big one. That's a tough one to take. We've also seen Molden being sold, an old man at the club, so it's not good to see that. Oh, and I thought this one would happen. Debnam goes for £42 million. He's probably bossing it in the Premier League. Yes, he is. Look at those stats. He's played amazingly. Played a couple of games in the Championship, but not enough, obviously. Only leaving near the end of the transfer window. I imagine they thought they were going to do enough to keep a hold of him, but unfortunately not. Camano, who I believe is a player I was trying to get rid of, so I'm very proud of him for getting rid of him for £3.4 million. Hadji goes for $20 million, a man that we brought in, didn't play too well, and they've managed to double that fee that we brought him in for, so a good piece of business there as well. Garry McDonnell, I hate him. He's definitely my least favourite human being of all time. Platt has left as well as this left back or right back from France that we never ended up using, and also we've gotten rid of... Yes, oh gosh, they've gotten rid of so many people. Marco leaves as well. Fair enough. Who did they bring in for him? Anyone would be a good deal. Did he do anything? Because he left in January, so maybe he did some decent stuff in the Championship. He was all right. He got one goal, which is oh no, sorry, that's back when he was at Salford with us. He did well for West Ham, but he didn't do amazing for Salford. So not bad overall, I guess you can say. And who's the player that they brought in for him? They got Addo, who's a 23-year-old who they paid a hefty amount for, and has also got a player exchange. He hasn't done great for them so far, but hopefully it's one that will improve in the future. Simple's gone for £20 million. I think that's a pretty good transfer fee for a man we got in for 5.5k, but someone that we did have in the club for a while, so it's sad to see him go. Parry's gone for £425,000 to a side in the Championship. Mate, that's the dumbest move you have made. And no, actually, the Edgehill move is definitely the dumbest one. Redas leaves, who's a man that we actually had as a wonder kid for quite some time. £7 million, not a bad fee at all for him. But looking at the transfers, I'm not going to lie, we're going to go through them. But I don't think anyone is going to be someone we recognise. Trott, definitely recognise him from West Ham. Who else? I think Baxter's a real person. I know this man, Bagnoman. He's a left back / right back from Germany. We've got Harvey Barnes in the mix, not too bad. I want to know who's performed well for them this season. I want to know what sort of tactical setup they're going with. They've still got Milnes up top. We've got a new man called Daly out on the left-hand side. Interesting to see him being brought in for £5.5 million. He's not done very well, so I'm a little confused by that one. Barnes out on the right-hand side. Still got Gravenberch. Mesper playing well at CDM? No, okay, apparently not that great. Who's been their most frequent starters? Because this doesn't seem like the most, extensive squad we could see. So Gravenberch has definitely done a good job for them. Steve Carter's also done a good job for them, which is what we want to see. A man that we didn't think was the best in the Premier League, apart from when he first came to the club. They also got Ajita playing a lot. Gama, Manu. This is going to be a very long video if I keep going on, but I am intrigued by all of this. Miraval's still there. Baxter having a lot of game time. Clearly just the new number one because Vasquez was brought in. Milnes, has he done well? 14 goals. Yes, he's done pretty solid in that striker position. Braithwaite, also got Hone and Me, two loanies. Nice to see them making the most of them. We've got Vagnoman. We've also got this man, Lima Lara, who was someone that we put out on loan a few times, and now he's kind of made his way into the first team, so that's good to see that they're using the squad depth that we've got. Yannis, how's he doing? A man that didn't have a lot of success for us. He's been a bench player, and he's been doing all right coming off the bench. Clearly not, not the worst player of all time. And Addo, this man, not great either for us, but I think he did well for West Ham, so that explains why they spent so much money on him, but I think that one's going to prove to be a bad signing in the future. So it's interesting to see that they have been promoted, and next year will be a real challenge for them. They've got Maribel as the captain as things stand, with Braithwaite as a vice-captain. I think that Ward-Prowse must have just left on a free or something, or been released. How do I see that? And maybe he just retired, actually. That probably makes more sense. Ward-Prowse. Let's see if we can find him here. He's at Cardiff. No, so he's left on a free. Is there a way that I can take a look at the players that they've gotten rid of on a free, or did I just miss Ward-Prowse in there? No, I didn't miss Ward-Prowse. They've let him go on a free. Who else have they let go on a free? I'm not certain about this. I need to know all the players that they've gotten rid of. Let's take a look at Transfer Centre. No, I don't know. But either way, that's what they've gone with. If that new manager is on favoured personnel, I'm going to be fuming. He's already on favoured personnel. You're telling me I was there for 9 years and all it took is one season for this man? I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Is Sian Bolger still at the club? No, Bolger is now the manager of Peterborough. You got to respect it. He's down in the League One, and how's he doing with them? This is just as important now. 18th place, not horrendous. Definitely not horrendous, but at least Salford are going up to the Premier League again. We're going to simulate forward another season to see how they do in their first season back, and hopefully we will have some players actually doing some, serious game time in the Premier League. Who we brought in? Let's take a look at the stats. No one up there for anything for Salford. Most assists for Gravenberch, which is surprising, mate. Why couldn't you do that in the Premier League? Maybe we wouldn't have been relegated if you. See, he got 1 assist and now he's got 14. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Zwicker as well, someone that we brought in on loan. He's done amazing out on loan for Fulham. Gosh, I don't like any of this. Joe Duffy as well. He's a former player for us. Since when have we just brought in a bunch of players that now don't know how to play football until they go into the Championship? Well, actually, that would make perfect sense considering all of our players were described to be the best Championship players. And they're going with a pretty attacking formation now, so it is interesting to see what they're doing. But will be even more interesting to see what happens next year in the Premier League. Will they have to sell some of their players? I imagine Ajita's worth quite a bit now. He's now not a wonder kid, so actually might have gone down in value, but we'll have to see. We're going to simulate forward, and I'll see you all in 2031. Once again, we have simulated to the 14th of May, but this time in 2031, and it is our second season that we're simulating. This time, we're not going to be searching up the Championship, as you know why. We're searching up the Premier League, and unfortunately for Salford, they have finished rock bottom with only 26 points. I don't know if that's better or worse than our points tally when we got relegated with them last season. It was worse, so at least I've done a little bit better than them. But what has gone wrong for them? They did a really good job to get promoted, but clearly not a lot of wins, only beating Fulham, Liverpool. They beat Liverpool, and you're telling me they get relegated. How many wins did they get all season, actually? They only came away with 6, and they beat Arsenal and Liverpool in there. Not the best results ever. Only 8 draws, 23 losses. I'm sure every team would have been licking their lips as they went to face them. And no one seems to be in any of the top goal scorers. But let's see what's happened to the squad, starting off with the tactics. I want to know how they were lining up, and I think this is probably why they were having problems. They were going much more attacking than they should have been, in my personal opinion. I mean, what can I say? I only got 2 points more than them last season. They spent £70 million, only brought in £31 million, so they actually did end up spending a solid amount of money. £40 million is not anything that you should be, being too uncautious about spending. Braithwaite has been sold for £10 million, which I think could have been a bad decision. He's a player that has been in the Premier League with us. He knows how to do it. He had a good season in the Championship, and I clearly think they missed his quality in centre-back position last year. They also managed to sell this man for only £500,000, someone that we brought in for 4.7. I think that is a joke. I have no idea why they never played him in the Championship last year. I think he had the quality to play in the Premier League, so Surprised that they didn't try and get a wee bit more for him. Beckham also £1.7 million being sold for. That is shocking. That is absolutely terrible. They need to be getting much more money for that man. He has got some serious potential about him, and clearly the new manager didn't agree. Daly, another man that they brought in away from when I was in the club, so I don't remember if they made money on him. Also managed to sell a couple of other players that they brought in with me. I don't think there's anyone here that I brought in, so they're trying to keep a hold of the people that I brought in, clearly, and they've actually brought in Xavier Benjamin, a man that we brought in on loan, and clearly he hasn't done a great job at centre-back, and for £34 million, you think money could have been better spent elsewhere, and I'm trying to think where else they have spent the money. £18 million on this right-back, not the best fee of all time, but a 24-year-old, it's not the worst decision ever, but maybe not the wisest money ever spent. And aside from that, it just looks like they're making some pretty expensive signings. Cantwell was a player that I thought I recognised, but that's a completely different one to the one that we all know from Norwich. But we are kind of getting to that point where there is a lot of regens going on, so it's hard to tell. But Carter's still in there from our squad. He had an okay season in the Premier League, up to £40 million worth of value. It'll be interesting to see how many of these players are actually still around by the end of the season. Milne's still in there, 9 goals and 5 assists, so actually not a terrible Premier League season. He's worth £52 million, so he's clearly a solid player at this point in time. Addo, the man that they brought in for £32 million, only getting 4 goals and 1 assist. He was a terrible signing. Absolutely terrible. Marival finally getting up to £42 million worth of value, and he's wanted by Chelsea. I'm surprised this man ever made it to, I don't know, a decent player. He was shocking for us. Manu, another man that we brought in as a youngster, £24 million worth of value at the moment. Gama, a player that I think is definitely going places, £22 million. I think they've got a team full of absolutely quality players and a team full of lots of valuable players, but it's just whether or not they're getting the output out of them that they do need. And Ketty has been brought on loan. That's someone that we actually recognise. Yanez as well, £20 million worth of value. See, it's clearly working having these youngsters that I brought in, not the manager, but it's just not seeming to go their way at the moment, and you need a wee bit more time to let them develop before they're actually going to be at the standard that you need them. I'm actually curious now about some of the players that we really care about, like Gassama. How's he been doing for Galatasaray? 17 goals each season. He's doing well. He's a goal scorer. We all know that. Who else do we want to take a look at? We definitely want to know what's happened to Marco at West Ham. West Ham has turned Marco into a good player, apparently. 7.06 rating, and he's wanted by Wolves, Nice and Lyon. Keep away from him, mate. £39 million worth of value? I don't think so. I definitely do not think so. Debnam, I bet, is one of the best centre-backs in the world at this point in time. And, oh gosh, his ratings are definitely justifying that. Such a good signing from myself, if I do say so myself. Who else do we want to take a look at? Vasquez, still out at Wolfsburg. Their first choice goalkeeper at the moment. Sorry, finally got that one out. Gone down in value quite a lot, but still probably a decent goalkeeper in between the sticks. We, of course, want to know what's going on with Edgehill. He's actually moved to Watford. And surprise, surprise, they sold him for a profit. No, duh. Obviously, he's a better player than in exchange for a man that you've sold for £6 million, £17 million. He's back down in the Championship and he's doing a good job. To be fair, he is definitely a Championship player, Edgehill. As soon as he had the big jump here, he kind of struggled. Agnew's now at Newcastle after moving for £43 million, and he's doing quite well in the Premier League, actually. So it's nice to see that my youngsters that I brought in, who weren't doing very well for us, are at least now becoming decent players. Kennedy, not exactly proving that point right there, but I think that overall, it's not been bad for our youngsters, and Perry's one of the ones that is now turning into a great player in the Premier League. 8 goals and 3 assists, 6.95 rating. It's taken them a while, but they're finally getting to that point. And now we're going to simulate forward 3 years. Can Salford get back into the Premier League? Have they kept their manager, actually? That's the important thing. No, they haven't. They had to change him. They've got Neil Lennon in now, who is currently the former Celtic manager. He must have been sacked in real life. Wow. That is surprising. I mean, it's not the personality I would have expected. Does that mean that their former manager is no longer on the favoured personnel? How is he still on the favoured personnel? He got sacked. I'm not happy about that. I'm not having it. I'm not even having the fact that he's above my name. Put some respect on my name, man. I'm never going to get over that. Let's simulate forward 3 more years. Hopefully, Salford have gotten back into the Premier League, and hopefully they've got a better manager than Christensen. I mean, for all I know, this Lennon dude's doing a good job, but based off the way that they've gotten relegated, I wouldn't put a huge amount of money on it. Once again, it is the 14th of May, but this time it's 5 years in the future from where we started this episode. It's 2034, and it's time to find out where Salford are. Will they have gotten back into the Premier League? Will they have fallen even further? It's time to find out. They're back in the Premier League, and I believe that said they just finished 8th. They finished 7th last year. Oh my goodness, so they got relegated in 20th place, went straight back up in the first time of asking at first place, then they've gone up to 7th place, and now I believe in this year's season, they've gone up to 8th place, with 1 game left to go. They could move back up to 7th once again, or they could move even lower, but it seems like the club are doing pretty well without me. Neil Lennon, I mean, I roasted him a wee bit when he took over, but he's been there for a few years now, and I imagine he's more of a favoured personnel than I am. I mean, Simon Milnes is now a club icon, which is good to see that finally we've got... They were in the Europa League! Salford were in the Europa League. Are they still in it? Imagine if Salford won the Europa League. That would make me so disheartened. That's exactly what I wanted in this save by the end of it. I wanted to get into the Europa League, some sort of Champions League type European football is the word I'm looking for here. But don't think that they got out of the group stage. I think that's the important thing to take a look at here. Oh no, it was last season. No, they did. No, it was this season. They got out of the group stage, and who did they verse in the knockout round? Am I completely missing it? Because they got into the next stage, so they automatically qualified. Who did they face? They faced Valencia, who are now in the final, and to be fair to them, they didn't do a bad job. Salford boys in the Europa League. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful to see. And Milnes has done okay in the Premier League this year. I don't know. He's not done incredible, but he seems to be doing an alright job, I guess. He's not even a club captain, vice captain. Addo, that guy, is still here with £35 million. I mean, he's not doing great, is he? He's, in my opinion, not a great signing. Definitely not worth the exchange that we did do for him, but we need to break down these Premier League seasons. Let's see what has happened. You know what? Let's move back down to the Championship first and actually take a look at what has happened in that year where they got themselves the title once again. I believe that was a year in the future. Here we go. They got 101 points this time with 9 losses, and they've just done amazingly well. And it makes me slightly upset to say that, to be honest, because yeah, I kind of wanted to be the team to do this well with Salford. They've broken my record of highest finish of 7th place. My record was 9th, so I feel a little ashamed about that. But we're going to move forward to the Premier League and take a look at how they did do in that 8th place finishing season. What a result for the boys. And this is the year, it was 7th place, sorry, I'm getting completely confused. And they were almost in 6th place, above one of the top 6 sides in the form of Arsenal. If only they had a higher goal difference. And they were miles away from the rest of the clubs. The only one even close to them was Everton. And they were 10 points below them. Gosh, this team has done well since I left the club. And now, obviously, this season, they're down in 8th place. I will simulate forward so that we can see officially where they finish. But it's time to work out how many players they actually have left over from who we had. And I think the answer is not many. I think Milnes is the only survivor. Going through the bench, we can see Benjamin, who is a man that I didn't bring in on a permanent, but I've had him in the club, so I'll take that as a win for me. Who else can we see? I think that's it. Everyone else is gone. They have completely revamped the squad. No, Mensah's still in there. Did I have Mensah? No, I didn't. I don't know what I'm on about with Mensah. For some reason, I thought I had Mensah. No one else. They have completely stripped my squad. It doesn't even feel like an accomplishment anymore, to be honest. It just feels like bit of a steal. And now I just need to analyse the transfers. Oh my gosh, they spent £187 million 1 year. When did the... Oh, okay. This is the year they went back down into the Championship. Hard to tell through the signings. But sales, they got rid of Steve Carter for £22 million, who is now doing solid for them in the Premier League. That's a pretty good deal for Burnley, I would say. They got rid of Garma for £36 million, and I think that is a very good deal for Eintracht Frankfurt. He is such a good player for the future. I mean, obviously he's not real. He's wanted by Manchester United. Come on, boys. We could have gotten more money from him. Who else? We've got Mespa, who they got £30 million for, and then they sold him for 39. Mespa was terrible for us. Gosh, it's good to see my signings at least had some level of potential. Pretty sure I didn't bring that man in. Ajita went to Manchester United for £53 million. It's gone up to 63. He's doing bits there. I mean, he's a bit of a rotation player, but he's still got a lot of years of football left in him. I'm loving this. Who else? They sold Lima Lara, who's a man that I brought in for only £3.4 million, made £25 million on them, and then he didn't do very well, so they sold him to Stuttgart, but he seems to be doing well for himself over there now. I think Jose Carlos is a man that I brought in, but not a player that they've sold just yet. And I think that's it for the players that we know very well. Let's move on to the next season. I mean, this man, I remember bringing him in, but I don't think he's too noteworthy. He's playing down in the Championship now, so yes, not exactly the best player of all time. Moving on to the next season, I didn't realise, £242 million. That is why they could afford to spend £182 million this year. Who's the biggest fee they brought in? They brought in this man for £60 million. What? I mean, he's doing all right for them in the Premier League, but this is insane fees. I think I'm good with money in Football Manager, but the board did not seem to have this much faith in me. Oh my goodness, I'm just amazed by the amount of money they're spending. Who else have they got rid of? They've got rid of Yerostov. I know he's from our team, but he's just gone out on loan. Yanez went for £47.5 million. What? Oh my goodness. I tell you what, I was good at making this club money. You can't take that away from me. Manu, they did actually sell at a loss, but is now looking like he's more valuable than they did sell him for. So, I mean, kind of a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of justification for the amount of money I spent on him. Not only did they bring in this guy for £55 million, they brought in another man for 51. Gosh, they're just splurging left, right and centre here. Watts is a man that I was actually taking a look at. How is he doing for them? Not amazing. So I wasn't actually taking a look at him. Ignore that. And in this last season, I believe this is probably when they did get rid of most of the players. Yerostov has finally gone, and he went for not even a profit. And you have to say that is surprising, considering the fact that he was a very good youngster for a good period of time. Well, looked promising at the very least. I didn't bring this man in, so I can't take the credit for that one, unfortunately. Will Fish finally leaving the club. I didn't even realise he was there anymore. Oh, gosh. Will Fish. No, I thought I got rid of him myself, but they signed him back for £8.25 million and then they sold him again. Gosh. The things that has been happening at this football club is ridiculous since I've been gone. I feel like there's still some players that we had that they still haven't gotten rid of. But this year they didn't actually splash the cash as much as they did last year. This man being the biggest signing and not a huge fee to say the least. I think they've just made intelligent deals. Is there players that I'm missing here that are actually from my team that are still in the lineup? I don't think there is. I'm pretty sure they've gotten rid of just about everyone. I don't think I'm missing anyone. Maybe in the under-23s. Let's take a look at the under-23s. Surely they don't have any of our players in the under-23s. I don't think so. No, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. To be honest, I don't recognise half of the players' names as it is. But clearly, they have done well since I've left. I am incredibly insulted that they haven't named a stadium after me yet, and I'm still only in the favoured personnel. We've now got 3 managers in the favoured personnel above me, and none of them have done as well as me. But I think now we really do have to take a look at those players that we do care about. Who's in the best 11? That's got to be something that we have to analyse. We've got Milnes in there now, so he's kind of a bit of a club legend. Gassama's moved out to the left-hand side. I've always wanted to get rid of Hunter from the best 11, though. But how is Gassama doing at this point in time? He's 30. He's playing. He went to Sevilla. He didn't do great there, but he's now moved to the Saudi Arabian League. He's doing pretty well out there. He's kind of a big fish in a small pond kind of player. I think that's pretty clear to see. Edgehill over at Southampton. He's worth £38 million, boys and girls. They have not done well to sell him for a player exchange. Oh my goodness. £34 million was spent on this man. Overall, £72 million has been spent on this man. He was such a good player for us. Hunt, gosh, I don't think I've thought about him for a while. He's gone back to the Championship, probably where he belongs, to be fair to the man, but he's doing alright over there. Then we've got Puigmal. I feel like he should have retired by now, but he's chilling out in Wuhan, still making £58 million, £1,000 a week, so doing well for himself. Miraval, I didn't notice him being sold. Maybe that happened before. No, it's happened, and I've just noticed. No, they did happen before. I just can't remember what happened in the previous simulations, but he's gone for £62 million now. Nice to know that our players are making a lot of money. Unfortunately, Bulger has been sacked from Peterborough, or has resigned. I imagine sacked, let's be honest. It's definitely sacked. Clark at right back, retired at the age of 34 at Crawley Town. De Silva, oh, you gotta love him. He's trying to do some sort of youth development stuff, but not quite working out for him at this current point in time. Did he end up getting sold, actually? I think that's the important thing for us. He did. He left on a free. Oh, he's a legend of the club, though. And Basquiat is probably not that important to take a look at, as we already have taken a look at him. Daniel Parry as well, doing pretty well. A bit more value. I mean, Leeds brought him in for £14.75 million the last time we saw him. He's now been sold for a lot less than that. He's trying to break his way into a good Premier League player. He's just sort of up and down in the league, isn't he? Gravenberch has made his way to Augsburg. For £15 million now, he's absolutely plummeted in value. So, well done to the manager for getting rid of him when they did. Jerome Sinclair, I imagine, retired years ago. He retired at the age of 28. Keane Bryan, if you remember all the way back then. Gosh, you are a real OG. Robbie Much as well. He's still playing for the club that we sold him to. No, we sold him to Sheffield. Oh, yes, that was an absolute deal and a half. But gosh, it has been a journey, and clearly me leaving the club wasn't a bad thing, but we are going to simulate forward a few days just to find out what position they do finish in this final simulation. I cannot believe they managed to go back into the league. I honestly thought they were going to get relegated again. And wins this final game, and who are they versing is the important thing. They are facing Newcastle at home, who are 9th place, who are below them, so they could actually go down if they do lose it. I'm not going to attend it because I'm being completely frank here. I think I've wasted enough of your time talking about the Salford save as it is, but I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it too. And it's happening tonight, so we're just going to simulate forward and see what happens. Not watching it, as I said. I mean, we've all got better things to do, but apparently I'm not pausing the recording for it. So, but again, probably something you could do. Someone's been sacked. Interesting stuff, not to do with Salford. I think the game has been played now, so we'll take a look at where they are in the league. And they've moved up to 7th place. They've finished the league in 7th place once again. And they've only qualified for the European 2 this time, which is not as good. But I think maybe it could come down to Europa League if stuff goes on at the top of the table. But it's good to see them getting European football at the end of the season. And clearly this manager knows what he's doing statistically. Hats off to you, mate. Well done for turning my team around. And it's sad to say goodbye to them. It's been a long series, and I've already kind of said goodbye in my last episode, but it is officially time to really say goodbye. I don't think we're ever going to touch it. Maybe in the future I'll do another Salford save because it's gone so well. But I just want to say once again, thank you guys so much the support on this channel, on this series. If you're listening all the way to the end, I know that you're a real fan of the channel. Honestly, like, I made this channel just over a year ago, and I've tried to make daily videos since I started it. I haven't always made daily content. Obviously, this isn't my job. I can't put all my time and effort into it. However, I think this is what I'm passionate about, and I'd like to think I'm not horrendous at it. Like, you know, I keep saying every now and then that we're trying to get 1,000 subscribers, because if we do get 1,000 subscribers, then it'd just be, I don't know, it'd just be insane. It would make me feel like maybe, just maybe, I could turn this into something that I could. It's crazy, yeah. It's like ages away, and it's so unrealistic. But I love doing this, and I hope that you love watching it too. And this Salford save has been the highlight of it so far. So I'm actually really upset to say goodbye to it. I just want to say such a big thank you to everyone that has liked, that has subscribed, that has viewed a second of this content, because it means so much to me. And I can't explain how much I love doing this. I can't explain how much I want to be able to do this all the time. And I can't explain how much I want to be able to show my face on camera. I mean, that's more of a personal choice, but just for like reasons within my real life, I think that it's intelligent for now. But if we do get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll be showing my face. Don't you worry about that. Once I start making some money on this, I will be willing to, you know, take those risks. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything at all that I'm missing? Any players? Anything? I feel like I'm missing something before we finish the Salford save. I don't feel like this is the right way to end it. Oh, don't worry. I just remembered. Our favourite player of all time. He's playing for Napoli. He's playing for Napoli. Gosh, it was a negative end to the last episode. It's a negative end to this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are new around here. If you're not new around here and you've listened all the way to the end, get yourself subscribed. You know, it's got to be done. And thank you guys so much for watching once again. I think I've said that like 5 times, and I'll see you all later.